How's it going, guys? Yeah, I got some new technology over here. These are some really nice safety goggles because they are fully enclosed, and I have a working light so I can light up when I'm working on stuff. You guys can actually see what I'm looking at. Instead of being like this, it will look like this, which will improve the video quality. Right now I'm working on Nicole's car. I am doing the radiator setup with Adam. I want to show you guys kind of like the technical side of the fabrication stuff. And Adam is staring at me. Adam, why are you staring at me?
You were doing it to me the other day.
What?
You were doing it to me the other day when I was filming.
No, I'm gonna stare at you. Like, look at Adam stare. Like, you were working on the car. Why are you staring at me? Get back to work.
I'm done.
No, you're not. There's no way.
2 days all done. Ready to go.
Lies, he's not done. I actually help him with some of the things. But yeah, we're gonna work on that soon. But Adam has me working on this because look how beautiful this is looking now. We've been working on this all day. Tag teaming it with Adam so we can get it done. Right now, I'm working on the water neck, which is this right here. And we're gonna install a filler neck. This is a billet filler neck. I'm gonna put it like right here. So I already took all the measurements for the new radiator, which is a dual pass chase-based radiator, and it doesn't have a radiator filler neck, so we have to put an aftermarket one, and it has to go on the highest point of the cooling system, which is right here. So you can see it goes up right at the very top. I want this perfectly leveled. I already marked it where I need to weld it. It's been grinded down.
This looks fine.
You're checking what? Connector?
Yeah, just make sure the connector's the right size.
Alright, on the engine bay, we're installing this thing. I had to cut a bunch of stuff from their thing. I'm sorry I didn't start making a video sooner. I just realized, like, wait, why am I not recording all of this stuff? And even bloopers included. Check that out.
He wasn't even gonna film it. I was like, you know what, Alberto, it's never too late to film. Just pull out the camera. No one's stopping you. Just
like me the other day, I was trying to do the vinyl on the car. I didn't record it. It's like, you should be recording this. It's like, no, I just really want to get it done so I can get the car out of here.
So you know what? I recorded it. That's what I did.
So it's being documented at least.
It's just what you gotta do.
This is what the piece I'm welding gonna look like. I already tag welded it in place, and I'm gonna weld it all the way across. And now I have to wait for this to get cold so I can touch it because I don't want to burn myself. I did 3 passes on it, so there's 2 regular passes and the third one is like kind of weaved, so I get very good penetration on both sides and fusion. One thing when you're welding cast aluminum, you'll see that it'll try to get like little pores around the corners, so you gotta make sure there's no little holes on the corners. If there's a hole in the corner, most likely it will leak water through there because it's a bubble in the weld. That's why I like doing 3 passes. That way I eliminate the issue of having those bubbles, which I had before. Tucked all the things away. Now the Mini Cooper can go back inside. Adam is over there doing some wiring on the fans. And I'm gonna call it a night. Another update today. Got the water pipe installed. Adam ended up painting it last night. I reassembled everything. It's fully installed back in the block. One thing I want to do with the reservoir line is I want to run it inside the valve cover to over there, so that way I don't have a hose hanging. It's a lot cleaner installed. Right now we got nothing over here, so we're planning on keeping it that way. This is the final look on the radiator installed on Nicole's car. This is the fabricated water neck. Got a hose that actually work with it. It's very taut and nice inside the radiator, but we're gonna have to take it out again because I want to reinforce the lower radiator support mount for the car, which we have to cut to make the radiator fit. Now I want to proceed to fixing the problem on Nicole's car with the speed signal. The car is currently not displaying speed, so Nicole doesn't know what speed she's driving at. I'm gonna go through the wiring and make sure that everything is wired up correctly and diagnose any issues with the wiring. Here's another shot of the engine bay, how it looks with the new radiator. It's so nice that it says Chase Base right in the front. This is where I'm at right now with the wiring. I traced the wires, and this output wire right here, output number 1 with the white wire, is supposed to be the signal output to the gauge cluster, which I am not getting continuity from that pin to the signal wire on the cluster. I tried running a wire all the way through to test the signal and put it on the output, yet I'm still not getting a signal. So the next thing that I have to do now is to check the wiring for the sensor itself. I'm supposed to be getting 12 volt to the sensor, ground, and then signal output. I'm gonna raise the car up, and then I'm gonna check underneath, make sure I'm getting the right signal in the right places to the sensor, and then proceed from there. This is part of the troubleshooting procedure to determine if I had a bad cluster, if I had a bad sensor, if I have a wrong connection. All this thing can be known after the several tests that I will be proceeding. I have my nice little work light now so I can see underneath the car. It's like super bright. On the connector, pin number 1 is going to be 12 volts. On the pin number 2, there's gonna be sensor ground. And then pin number 3 is gonna be the signal output that is gonna connect to my Dakota Digital box. I cut a piece of wire that I'm gonna be connecting to the signal input on the box. So this one, this wire is supposed to be signal in. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna put one end of this wire to that, and then I'm gonna take my multimeter. I'm gonna set up to check continuity. So this way, when you have continuity, it will beep. And I'm gonna check continuity from that wire to the sensor, and then I'm gonna check power and ground as well. I'm going to connect it like this, then I'm gonna put a piece of tape to hold it together, so it doesn't come off while I'm doing the test. Now underneath the car, the sensor is located right by the drive shaft all the way in the back. I'm gonna take this plug off and then check continuity to the pins. Now I am going to check the continuity to the pin number 3, which will be this one right here. And you can hear that we have continuity to the plug. So since I know that signal is right, now I'm gonna proceed by checking power to the first one and ground to this will be switch power on first and then ground in the middle. I'll have to put the switch on the on position for that. Alright, so I'm gonna check power to the first one right here. And then I'm gonna connect ground to the middle one. Let's see if we have 12 volts there. And we do. We have ground and we have 12 volts to it. I stopped filming for a little bit because I really wanted to try to get to the root of the problem. So I took out the sensor out of the transmission. I bench tested with a drill. I still couldn't get it to work. I wired up directly to the cluster, then wired up to the Dakota Digital box, and still cannot get a signal. So I think the sensor is shot, but the last thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the warehouse now. I'm gonna go pick up the factory S13 speed sensor and connect that straight to the cluster and try to bench test that as well and see if I can get the needle to move. This is what I got going on right now. It's a bit of a mess, but I have 12-volt signal and ground connected to the sensor, and I use a drill to spin the sensor and see if I can get it to move. I tried using a steady speed on the drill, so I will read, and it still got nothing. The sensors beat me. I couldn't make it work. I tried everything. I looked like 100 diagrams. Nothing works in this thing. It's so weird. Guess we'll call it a day. I put the car back together so Nico can still drive it. I do have to get my car ready for tonight's meet. I'm gonna go to my first meet, which I will be doing a separate video on. So I gotta get moving. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now so I can get it ready and then get my car ready so I can head to this meet and hopefully have an awesome time. I'll see you guys tomorrow.